Shegun Odegbami could move the ball on the line from the halfway mark to the opponent's area.
Hello, viewers. This is Memory Lane, and once again, you're welcome to the podcast show. And today, as memory that we always talk about, we're talking about the Nations Cup. The Nations Cup is around the corner, and because we are all about memories, we are looking into the 1980 Super Eagles. Super Eagles? They were called the Green Eagles back then. I wasn't born, but I had stories and I saw clips. And I'm not alone here. I'm here with the Big J, one of the best sports analysts this side of the Niger. As you can see from my face, you can tell that I don't get experience. So we're calling upon Big J to tell us what he saw or what he think about back then in the 1980s when the Green Eagles dominated Africa. Big J, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Abraham.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite you see, Nigeria didn't just win the Nations Cup in 1980 by sheer luck. No, there was a build-up in 1976 when Nigeria got the first bronze medal. I was in Uganda in 1976. So there was a build-up. When Nigeria came to Ghana in 1978, we didn't get the medal, but we saw the build-up of the team. So it's like the team was building up with the old players, the ones that played in the early 60s, late 60s to early 70s. They were retiring, the likes of Aaron Alerika, Ifeanyi Onyedika. They were aging. And so a younger generation was coming up that include the likes of players. Why? Because when a team picks in football, an average team picks in 4 years.
Yeah.
So when we got the bronze in 1976, we knew if we missed 1980, it would be difficult. Because at then, Chukwu was in his twilight of his career, so he had the experience. That's why he was the captain of the team.
Yeah, that's good.
So when the coach, a Brazilian coach named Father Tico, took charge, we knew, just like in 1984. So in 1980, how do I put it? There's something they call, in football, we call climax. This team must hit that climax. So, and we had a president, the first civilian president Shehu Shagari. So it was somebody that was, okay, this one must be our own. Just like what the English are saying, this one is coming home.
Yes.
We knew this one was coming home. And we had two powerful stadiums then built. We had the stadium in Ibadan, Liberty Stadium, and the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos.
It was quite new that time.
It's new because then the Lagos Stadium was less than 10 years old because it was commissioned in 1972 for the African game in 1973.
Okay.
So after that, 1973, no major sporting events had taken place at that arena until the Nations Cup in 1980. And a year after, Nigeria returned to democratic civilian government. So the buzz was there. The nation was agog. Everybody was like, President Shehu Shagari knew this one was a Nigerian project. And when we started the first game against Tanzania, I knew this one was not. They couldn't escape it. And that was the first time Tanzania was also qualifying for the Nations Cup. But they came with a good team. But the form with which Nigerian found ourselves, we were just too good for the entire African continent. But then it was only 8 countries. We had only Group A and B. Group B was in Ibadan, Group A was in Lagos. So, but I'll tell you, that was a defining moment for us because before then, Ghana had won the AFCON twice. Before then, they won 3 times. They won 3 times. So the fourth one was in Libya, 82.
Yes.
They won twice. So Nigeria, we know the rivalry we had with Ghana before independence.
Yes.
We had this Nigerian-Ghana rivalry in football. They had the upper hands.
It has been long.
They had the upper hands. So unfortunately at this Nations Cup, Ghana didn't qualify.
Oh, they didn't come?
They didn't come.
Wow.
So we say, since our outsider was not there,
we have to
win this one. So eventually, we had a wonderful tournament. And that tournament really showed that, look, we had a golden generation. Odegbami, Modalawa, if a certain young, very young, he was 16 years from St. Philip's College. Everyone made the squad. And Nigerians were like, who is this small? Just like we say, Lagos, they use the word. Kekere. Why is he small? And he was smallish, but very, very good.
Wow.
So we knew it was a blend of experience. Christian Chukwu, now late, captain, at the twilight of his career, leading couple of young players that were just trying to come up in the last 3 or 4 years. So the Nations Cup, it was superb. And when we took on Algeria in the final, it was like we knew it was this one was just history will be made today in Lagos. I was fortunate to be at that stadium that day as a very young man then, very young. I went with one of my neighbor then. I was living in Ajegule.
Okay.
We were at the stadium at 7 a.m.
Wow. That early.
We left Ajegule by 6.
That's for the final.
For the final against Algeria. When we got to stadium, we saw crowd. I was asking, these people, did they sleep here?
What time was the match?
The game was 4 p.m.
And by 7, the stadium was filled
because
up.
people had traveled all the way from Ibadan, from Abeokuta, from Enugu.
Like
the Rangers fans came. The ones that came, they had this motorcycle, they call 195. People were driving all the way from Enugu
with the motorcycle
to Lagos. Large numbers. So we got to the stadium around 6 or after to 7. We saw people already on the queue waiting to, and I was wondering, well, today it was a carnival.
Wow.
And so when we defeated Nigeria 3-0 in that final, Nigeria, we saw football uniting the country again. After the Civil War, just 10 years earlier, Nigerians who saw the unity, the Igbos that were that suffered so much during the Civil War, and you see an Igbo man performing and lifting the trophy.
Yes, Christian.
There was this sense of unity back in the country. It was quite emotional that day. I can tell you the truth. As a young man, I saw a lot of unity. That was when I felt Nigeria, this country, we loved ourselves, despite the civil war that had happened 10 years before. And that was a defining moment for Nigerian football. I tell you, good one, good history. I just hope you could turn the hands of clock back and let me experience it again.
Yeah, but one thing I always say to people is, in every nation, there is this thing that when a team becomes successful, they become successful for a generation. Because I'm always seeing it that if the 1980 team wasn't successful, I don't think we'll get up to where we are in football today. Because that brought about everybody to say, okay, little children say, I would like to be a footballer tomorrow. I would like to be, coming from a house successful. Another thing is, I want you to really tell us how good these players were. Because right now, we're born during the 80s, we saw the 90s, we saw Okocha, we saw how good Okocha was. When you talk about mathematical, you talk about Felix Owolabi, we only know them, okay, these are the players, but how good were they? As in, were they as good as other players in Africa, or was it because we hosted it and we were
No, they were good. First of all, you see, what has evolved in football is the law and the I will not say technique has improved. What has changed in modern football today is the laws and also technology that are added to football. Now, the pace of what they play today is faster. Why? Because of the type of turf they play on. Then it was purely natural grass.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you must use the ball judiciously. Shegun Odegbami could move the ball on the line from the halfway mark to the opponent's area.
He was that good.
On the line. The ball, when you put the ball on the line. I don't know how Shegun Odegbami does it. You can't take the ball off his feet and you can't put the ball out or play. Odegbami will hold the ball on the line till he gets to where he wants to cross the ball.
If you're watching football, you know that takes precision, because for you to calculate how the ball
on a grass surface where it is energy sapping.
Not even with the modern football.
No, the old kind of football that's a little bit heavier.
Yes.
The modern football we have now is lighter. Then when growing up, we at a certain age, I could not kick the normal football.
That's right.
They will tell us why we're going to that. Can your leg carry this ball?
Yes, I used to hear that when I was little.
They will tell you that, can your leg carry this ball? The ball was heavier then. That's why we had one then where we are going up, we call it, we used to call it felele.
Yeah.
Very light.
That's the one we play.
If you play it, you are taking to the left, the wind will take it to the right. So they say, okay, let us learn with felele.
Okay.
But then that ball the leather ball was heavier compared to today. So you could see that the dynamic they had then. And so someone like Owolabi, the only player I can compare to Owolabi today is any player like that? It's difficult. I'm telling you, no. They had masters of the ball, despite they were playing on the bat off. and you still enjoy the passes despite the bumpy pitch.
Yes.
The pitch was not that good, not 100% of what we played
I saw the
today,
clip. The pitch
but
was not
they could still
looking-
string passes together.
Yeah.
That's why it could be, that's why somebody like Odegba will tell you, they say it's a winger. He operates from the wing.
Yes. He hugs the wing.
So that's why I tell you that when you talk about quality of players, I think I usually like using the word. People back then, they talk to football.
Yeah, I always hear you
They
say
will
that.
talk to the ball. You will be wondering.
Maybe,
That it's like somebody telling this ball, I'm playing you now. I want you to go.
Where I
That's where you will go and that's where you drop. They'll do it with
Precision.
precision. So that's why if I look at today, I say what people are doing today is just a more scientific aspect of football they are playing.
Yeah.
It's easier now.
It is. It is very
It's easier now. They had no opportunity of even watching the stars of yesterday because television was scarce.
Yeah, it was.
YouTube was not there.
You hear it on radio.
And so at the end of the day, it's just even those of us watching, some of us people at home, they listen to the commentary based on the description of the commentator, and they will still enjoy it.
They're very good.
They enjoy it,
Yeah.
and what they are describing is
Exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Because I usually think they are describing something different.
Yeah.
Until when we go to stadium, even in the stadium, we had radio on our ears.
Yeah, I used to see those kids.
You will
back
see
then.
us with people holding radio.
Yeah.
If one person comes, we'll gather that area. We are watching the match, and the person is
Listen
listening
to
to the
radio.
radio.
When I was little too, we're like that, watching TV and
It's quite
listening to the
interesting,
radio.
and exactly what we are describing.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, the likes of Owolabi, Odegbami, we had Felix Oblo, we had there was this Godwin Odiye. He was maligned in 1978.
Oh,
And Nigeria needed to draw against Tunisia in Lagos.
okay.
We had drawn them. We had drawn 1-1 in Tunis. We just needed to win
Okay.
and go to the World Cup in
that's
1978.
World Cup.
That's why when you hear Nigeria score Nigeria, who is that? Godwin Odiye. And that's how Odiye left the team.
Oh,
Nigeria almost, if it is now, maybe because of the rate of violence, just like what happened to
Yes,
Perwame in Cameroon,
yeah, Perwame.
they would have burnt his house. That was it. A lot of Nigerians who did not forget. The only that Memoree I raised in 1994.
okay.
Nigerians always cry that we have got the World Cup if not for Godwin Odiye. Odiye could not make the 1980 squad because of that problem.
Oh, but he was good.
Very good. Good defender anytime, any day.
Man, football was really very
The football was quite brutal, quite interesting, but more physical. Unlike now, where the loss of the game now protects players. Every small tackle you get a review, you get a red card.
Just mess the
So
whole
for 1980, it was one of the best Nations Cup for Nigeria. I'll tell you, not because we won it for the first time, we won it at a crucial point in the history of this country.
Yes.
10 years after a bloody civil war.
It was a unifier for Nigeria.
Exactly, at that point, we needed it. First time in history, 10 years after coming out from a war, and the first elected civilian government.
President, yeah, that was true.
So that was quite good. A year after she came.